Hey guys, first regards here, and today I'll be talking about a Heroic Power Fist build for the Assault class in patch 11.2 of Space Marine 2. Now, the Heroic Power Fist might be one of the easiest builds in the entire game to use for new players. You get a ton of gun strikes off the perk here, Follow-Up Shot. Performing a finisher marks a nearby Majora's level or higher enemy for a gun strike. Light attack damage increases by 200%, but charge attack damage decreases by 50%. Now, especially versus Tyranids, this weapon will just feed you gun strikes over and over and over. Really easy to just keep up your armor constantly with things like armor reinforcement here, and also your gun strike damage on assault is very high with stuff like proven efficiency, so really easy to play with and pretty damn effective. Now for the perk tree here, I do start off in the bottom row, Perpetual Strength, moving here into the perk Heavy Preparation. Heavy attack preparation times reduced by 30%. Now even though we have a 50% damage reduction to our heavy attacks on this weapon, it really doesn't matter at all because charge attacks from this weapon are still very powerful, and usually you just want to be able to use them for stagger and stuff like that, so having a faster preparation time on them is still really beneficial and far better than the perk up here, Swift Recovery. The next perk here is Perpetual Strength, and moving up here into the perk Perpetual Strength once again for a 10% melee damage increase. Then I pick up the perk here, Focus Intention. When your health is below 30%, you will take 50% less health damage when preparing heavy attacks. This perk is really nice. It is one of the only proper damage reduction perks on like any weapon in this game. It's actually pretty substantial, so definitely pick this one up. And the next perk here is Tide of Battle. Power wave forward distance increases from 4 to 8 meters. Now this actually increases your power wave distance from 10 to 20 meters, which basically makes your charge attacks like a ranged attack in this game, so a really good perk. You pretty much always grab this one. Then I pick up the perk here, Following Blow, moving here into the perk combo. Then I grab Majora's Slayer, which is by far the most important perk here. And the final perk I grab is Cannon Punch, having a 50% damage increase with heavy armament, because I do like to play around with the perk here, Active Attrition, which is enemies hit by damage from melee attacks executed while sprinting or dashing. Take 25% more damage for 5 seconds. This will also affect your gun strikes on the enemy that you actually trigger this on, and Cannon Punch is the lunging attack for the Power Fist anyway, so pretty nice synergy there. Though if you want to skip this perk and take the perk over here, Strength of Will, instead, you can definitely do that, but that's pretty much all there is for the Death's Grasp Power Fist here. Now, as far as the secondary option goes, I do take the Heroic Heavy Bolt Pistol. This has the highest gun strike damage in the entire game, and we are building for gun strikes in the first place, so kind of a no-brainer. And for the perk tree, we do have the perk here, No Help is Coming. Shooting an enemy with the Elite Scream stats effect stops from calling for reinforcements, and headshots will kill in one shot. Now, unfortunately, in patch 11.2, this perk is actually bugged. Body shots will do nothing to stop reinforcement calls, but headshot kills will still kill in one shot, so still pretty good for that. And for the perk tree here, I just go all the way down the bottom row because these are where all the good damage perks are for the most part. Things like Death Strike and the perks here like Great Might for extra terminus damage. And then if you were playing something like the Bulwark, I would go up the top row for stuff like Discipline, because able damage after using a class ability damage increases by 20% for 10 seconds. This perk is definitely better on classes like Vanguard, Assault, and Heavy, just because they use their class ability way more like a Bulwark or a Tactical does, but you know, that is up to you still. That's pretty much the way I prefer to build mine. And the final perk I grab here is Tactical Precision. Headshots deal 20% more damage, and non-headshot damage decreases by 10%, because headshot damage is just way more important than body shot damage, so definitely pick this one up. That's pretty much all there is for the perk tree on the secondary. Now, for the actual perk tree, I do start off here with the perk Armor Reinforcement. Non-finisher gun strikes will restore 1 armor segment. This perk is incredible. The amount of HP that this will actually save you is ridiculous. This is one of like the safest perks in the entire game, especially versus Tyranids, because any amount of armor remaining in Space Marine 2 will take down all incoming melee damage to 0, regardless of where it comes from, even from bosses and stuff like that. So really powerful perk. It makes it really safe to fight any Tyranid horde, and that's pretty much why we always pick it up for like a gun strike build. Next perk here is Consecutive Execution. Killing 7 enemies in rapid succession will restore equipment charge by 1. Cooldown is 90 seconds. And now having 90-second crack grenades, shock grenades, frags, and melt-a-bombs will save your life in this game. A melt-a-bomb can pretty much solve an encounter all on its own, so really good option here, though I will say every single perk in this column, like Defense Mechanism and Auxiliary Arsenal, they're all top tier. It really is up to you. Next perk here is Active Attrition. Enemies hit by damage from melee attacks executed while sprinting or dashing take 25% more damage for 5 seconds. This perk applies a debuff to the enemy that actually ups your gun strike damage as well, so really good synergy there. And next perk here is Proven Efficiency. All of your team members deal 30% more gun strike damage, pretty self-explanatory. We are building for gun strikes, so pretty much always pick this up. And the final perks I grab here in the gear tree are Smiting Angel, Zealous Blow, and Pride and Duty to get that 50% damage bonus on our ground pound here, and just get our CDR increase off of every single Minotaur's kill we land on to constantly cycle into our jump pack over and over and over. One of the best combos in the game. And the final perk for the signature tree here is Ample Ammunition. Any use of jump pack reloads the equipped ranged weapon, increases damage by 50% for 10 seconds. Having a 50% damage buff on your secondary here while you are landing from a ground pound can actually just pick you up a free Majora's Kill all the time. Really nice to have on both like a plasma pistol and heavy bolt pistol, so I do like picking this one up quite a bit. But I will say, if you want to use your jump pack dash more, definitely pick this one up instead. Now for the prestige perks here, I do take Unyielding Oath first. When charging a ground pound, you become invulnerable for 3 seconds. This will actually allow you to become invulnerable the entire trajectory of your ground pound if you charge it immediately, so really good for that. Next perk here is Adrenaline Boost, just gives you no knockback on a parry, block, or dodge for 10 seconds. This will save your life. No knockback in Space Marine 2 is incredible, so pretty much always grab these two. And the final perks I grab are Fortitude, health increase by 15%, and Practice Aim for a range damage increase of 15% as well. And that's pretty much all there is for the prestige perk list here, and hopefully this build guide helped you guys. The Heroic Power Fist is a pretty powerful weapon in this game. By far the best fencing Power Fist option in my opinion, way better than the Relic one here, because you just get a ton of extra bonus effects off of this one. And that's pretty much all I have to say in this video. If you like content like this, subscribe for more, and as always, thank you guys for watching. Merry Christmas, take it easy, bye.
Must be more charges somewhere amongst this confusion.
Ow. Prepare to be bonked. What are you gonna do for Christmas? Let's see. Get up. Probably have coffee. Then play Space Marine 2. And then probably play Space Marine 2. And after that's done, maybe a little bit of, what's that? Dark Heresy. I mean, guess what? Space Marine 2.
It's Xenos brain. There must be more charges somewhere amongst this confusion.
He's just going through an emo depressed phase and projecting a skeleton onto the throne. I once read the Emperor was 12 powerful psychers that merged into one powerful being. Only John Grammaticus, another Eternal, remembers him. There was like there were like a bunch of shamans. I forget that's like still canon lore, because like some shit has been rewritten around the God Emperor. I mean, that's my favorite lore of him though, personally. The shaman lore.
Bless this desert.
Emo being a big corpse in Nurgle, like he burned down part of Nurgle's garden. I mean, the God Emperor is still the God Emperor. He's just a little immobile, you know. Like, if you put me in a wheelchair or you put Dwayne Johnson in a wheelchair, like, Dwayne Johnson's going to be scarier in a wheelchair than I am. And that's how the God Emperor is. 1-to-1. What if he's still been projecting his self-image the entire time? I mean, I wouldn't really put it past him. I wouldn't really put it past him at all. It is the God Emperor. He's not exactly known for being not prideful. Not exactly a humble guy. The God Lighthouse of mankind. I see the Inquisitors are gonna have a field day with this chat. Oh, the Rock ain't scary anymore. I don't know, dude. If the Rock was in front of me, I wouldn't want to piss him off. The Rock ain't scary, dude. I mean, if Big Rock Man come at you, I'd still get fucking obliterated. No, I can't get Dwayne Johnson a wheelchair out of your head. Yeah. Just think of Dwayne Johnson when they put his head in like a tiny guy in Black Adam. Just remember that in the movie, the hit film, the very hit film, Black Adam, Dwayne Johnson. Black Adam was just like, it was just tiny guy that with Dwayne Johnson's head that says Shazam and becomes Dwayne Johnson. That's the movie. Of course it gave me 4 this time to go play it. Some heretical shit happening in this chat for real. How do you keep the game feeling fresh? I really get burnout. I just don't feel that.
Bless this detonator. We need only await the creature now.
I also just like 40k.
Reach your position shortly. Join the Imperial Guard defenses up on the bridge and lure that.
I mean, have you seen him since he's off roids? I have not. Does he just look like pre-Shazam Black Adam now? It's tragic. Wow, it didn't give me my round pound there. Oh, thank you. No, it's okay. Don't worry about it. I won't call the cops. You just hit and ran me. Biovores are the type of motherfucker to like hit a dog and say nothing. A Biovore is the type of driver to blow through a coal station, get caught on like the cams.
That grotesque Xenos has met its end.
Let's go up here. Biovore's the type of guy to like shoot your dog when it's on their lawn and then call the cops on you for having your dog on their lawn. This is the only shooter style game I can play more than just 4 hours worth. I absolutely love it. It's fun. Why are you yellow? Are you not? Biovore the type of driver to flash their high beams at you when you're driving the speed limit.
We were not expecting such illustrious company in the rear. We've got a handle on these probing strikes, my lord.
Biovores are the type of driver to tip off the cops you're going 5 over.
The beast that commands the swarm will arrive here soon.
The Biovore's the type of guy to go in an elevator and blame the only other person on party.
Without armor support to tackle a target that big. We may have to bring down.
Man, Biovores just suck, don't they?
It is already done, Guardsman.
Is this a withdrawal order?
Negative. The objective is the Hive Tyrant, not the bridge.
There's a Warhammer store in most major towns and cities in the UK. It's the same in the US. I mean, if you mean like a sanctioned Warhammer store, I don't think I've ever been to like an actual Warhammer store. They have hobby stores, but like, that's more like a composite, where like they'll have Warhammer 40k products, Magic products, that kind of thing. You know, it's a real nerd den.
They're trying to surround us on the roofs.
The vermin have clambered upon the roofs.
Yeah, they have hobby stores in the US. Of course they do. I've never been to like a purely Warhammer store though. Never seen that.
The Hive Tyrant is on its way.
I live by a few. I live close to LA, and my condolences.
You have its attention. It is moving to descent. Apply more pressure.
The Xenos infestation is stemmed.
Mate, you love a Warhammer owned store.
Your eyes peeled. The Xenos make a beast will be
Are they actually like a thing? Do they like pure? I'm sure there's at least one. I imagine they're all in the UK though, or like primarily. 'Cause Games Workshop is a British company.
Behold this abominable Xenos champion.
That's kind of like a Lego store, isn't it? There's a Lego store in my local mall.
Atrocity. Hold. Give the hive beast
There are like 2 or 3 in the US as far as you know.
detonate the charges now.
US is also just a much bigger country than England. Is Ground Shake any good in the Power Fist? No. Just don't waste your time getting that stupid thing.
Die, beast.
Even if Ground Shake had like 4 times the damage of the Power Fist long range attack, I'd probably still prefer the long range one.
Infernal Xenos a fitting burial.
There's the one in Grapevine, Texas. I've never been to Texas. Actually, it's not true. I have been one time.
Enlighten us, Lord Titus.
Near Dallas.
The swarm would go feral without their connection to the hive mind.
The Warhammer store in Tokyo is a must-see. It's so sick. Never been to Japan.
Confirm the lieutenant's assessment.
I did grow up with a Japanese exchange student,
Still in
though.
full effect. That beast is not yet dead.
So I know of
Our
Tokyo.
word
I've
is
heard of the
bond.
Tokyo.
This void-spawn behemoth has seen its last day. I would leave it to
I guess
a
Thrush
lingering
Stab is just that
death
good,
over there
definitely
where
is.
not still directing the swarm.
Simeon. I smell lictors.
Other Xenos borrow.
Yes.
Take me. Link to the God.
Weapon is so good. For Tyrannus, at least. Here on Chaos, it has a lot of issues, but like it. You've heard rumors of Tokyo? Yes, it's allegedly a place. I'm personally, I'm pretty sure the weaves made it up. Like Tokyo's not real. I was like, it's just a weeaboo creepypasta.
Pitiful Xenos was but no horror.
Our Lictor's so stealthy, they probably smell really bad. They got like peak hive mind deodorant. Are there Space Marine chapters that look like samurai? I fucking hope not.
Brothers.
I don't think so.
And eliminate. We will not have a better opportunity to finish it off.
Having a samurai chapter of Space Marines would just be so goofy. But then again, we do have the White Scars, and like they do have a bunch of Mongolian aesthetic things. But that's more like a cultural thing rather than like a straight up having like samurai armored dudes doing like. Let's say, dude, I don't need like Shredder from Michael Bay's Ninja Turtles in my Space Marine game, okay? Nothing official. There's plenty of Weeb Brew chapters. That's what a wonderful name for something like that.
The world this Xenos sought to consume, now consumes its tongue. A neuroprobe revealed itself.
White Scars are cool though. I feel like a full-on Samurai Space Marine chapter would feel forced. Yeah, White Scars are cool. Because it's more like, you know, it's not totally unreasonable to have portions, like segments of like old world culture in the 41st millennium. Like we still have that today in a lot of places. I mean, fuck, dude. Some things are like of such cultural significance. We still have adaptations of stuff like the Odyssey, thousands of years after they were written. So it's not really that crazy that we hold some things. Some stuff just carries over. That would be. Also, anybody looking forward to that? The Odyssey movie that's coming out, Christopher Nolan. I'll punch this thing. Oh yes.
The Xenos infestations. Pay no heed to its lurking shadow. We are the hunters here.
It's either going to be amazing or terrible. When's the last time Christopher Nolan made a bad movie, though? What was the last... I mean, Oppenheimer... I didn't like Oppenheimer that much, guys. Like, I can recognize that Oppenheimer was a good movie, and, like, everything about it's well made, but I was not that interested. I guess I'm less interested in the life of Oppenheimer and more interested in the Manhattan Project as an actual historical event. Bang. Oh, I missed. It's awkward. I even did the sound effect for it and everything. But bang.
Xenos lurker stamped out. Take flight! Let terror.
See, even with the debuff, it still does a lot of damage. Well then. Oppenheimer was objectively good, but also a snooze fest. Yeah, that's how I felt about it. And then Dunkirk was fine. I like Dunkirk a lot. Oppenheimer has always been the face of nuclear bombs. I understand why they focus on him specifically rather than the project as a whole. I just feel like most people are more interested in the Manhattan Project than they are in Oppenheimer itself. Tenet and Dunkirk were both pretty bad. I didn't like Tenet that much. Dunkirk was pretty good. Yeah, I didn't like the new Batman that much, and the Superman was trash. I do think Superman is a very overrated movie. Not a big fan. I don't know, Superman just kind of felt like he felt like too much of a guy. Like, he's supposed to be the strongest hero on Earth. I never felt like Superman was strong at any point in that movie ever. Like, technically he is one of the strongest Supermen, like one of the strongest Supermen put to the screen, but I don't know, it's the way he carries himself. Does everybody agree with me on that? That's a hot take. That was a hot take. I didn't like hate the Superman movie. I just didn't like Superman in the Superman movie. He did escape a black hole, which is kind of nuts. Like, yeah, that is crazy. Like, he's definitely a strong hero. Just like, I don't know. It felt like Henry Cavill's Superman was stronger. And like, I also just feel like tiptoeing around the fact that Superman is strong is kind of just like the antithesis of the character. Like, he is just cracked. Kind of the point. It felt like the kind of movie that was like intentionally made so people would go, oh yeah, I've always been a fan of Superman, despite never reading a comic of it ever in my entire life, and not giving a shit about it since Christopher Reeves in like the 70s. Like, you know when whenever it was like a movie tour for something, how all the actors are like, I've always been a fan of X project since I was a child. They're like, yeah, right. Like, really, you were a fan of Taskmaster. I don't believe that for 5 seconds. What they mean to say is they dressed up as Spider-Man for Halloween one year. I mean, I can believe it with Superman, though. Like, I guess you can definitely believe it when an actor says, like, I was a big fan of Superman, Batman, or Spider-Man when I was a kid, because, like, they're just so fucking popular. Cavill's overrated. I don't think he's an amazing actor. He's not bad. Yeah, the real actor fans are. You can tell even when they don't say it. Yep, definitely can. It's the unquantifiable Riz. It's very hard to fake genuine like of something. Endgame was the peak. Why, you guys aren't excited to see Captain America in Avengers Doomsday? Is that movie... Yeah, there's so many characters crammed into that movie that, like, how long is it going to be? Like, 5 hours long? I guess that's how long Endgame felt. I'm kind of worried about that movie because it kind of feels like nothing's really set up for Doomsday at all. Because it felt like Kang was supposed to be the villain. Initially, it definitely was. And like suddenly they're like, actually, it's Doctor Doom. And it's Robert Downey Jr. And I'm like, okay. Like having Doctor Doom be a Tony Stark variant is kind of... I have a disservice to the character in my opinion, because Doctor Doom, if you know, you know that Doctor Doom is like one of the most dominant villains in comics. He is ridiculously cracked. I'm not a Cavill fan at all, but I will say that he's never really worked with a great director yet. Yeah, true. Endgame at least had 10 years of build-up. That's what I'm saying. Like, just plopping Robert Downey Jr. as Doctor Doom, and like, let's be real, casual audiences don't give a fuck about Doctor Doom. Like, to be a Doctor Doom fan, you have to know comics. Because, like, Doctor Doom is... You're right, yeah, exactly, Liam. Doctor Doom is that guy. But, like, most people just think Doctor Doom is funny guy with metal mask because of the early 2000s Fantastic Four. Or even, like, the early one that happened in the 90s. Bringing back Robert Downey Jr. and Sean Evans as Chris Evans is a very questionable choice. They weren't done getting their multi-million-dollar paychecks, I guess. Yeah. But it feels like. We'll see. Hopefully Avengers Doomsday is good. Also, that was the Heroic Power Fist build in Space Marine 2, a completely unrelated topic.